those players can't play for it. So the solution to that is, of course, like you're saying, is to implement that in the whole squad. So everybody get that sense of familiarity, so everybody can step in with their roles and responsibilities and play. But it's a slower process. It has to be, because the time is of course different, and it needs to be divided out onto more people. So you need to have more trust. You need to have a little bit more patience in the process. You have to try and make the most of every second that you're working with it, but it is a slower process. So I think it's exactly like how you frame it up in that way there. And I think as long as you're using every second as good as possible, that's going to be really, really important for us. And I'm 100% sure of that this is the right way to go with a larger and more competitive squad, because it's the only way that we're going to get to a point where we can challenge in all the competitions that we want to do. Thanks.
Susie.
Hey, 50,000 tickets sold for the Chelsea game. Huge contingents of Arsenal fans travelling home and away at the moment. Obviously, there's a myriad of reasons why players join clubs, why they stay at clubs, but how impactful are those crowds, those tendencies, and that atmosphere on the mood of the players? What makes them want to stay at Arsenal? Why they want to come here?
I think, of course, that's one factor that is really important, because I think everyone that is a part of this Arsenal team, we feel that support, and we feel that special bond, and we're so grateful for having it. I think when you see the growth in women's football, I think attendance figures is perhaps the most important growth factor into it, because the reality is that there is not the prize money structure in the European competitions yet that will give you like a huge advantage of going into the later stages there. It's more, it will cover your expenses type of thing. But of course, it's a giant leap to go from selling 4,000 tickets on a weekend basis to selling 60,000 tickets. That's a huge leap to do, which grows revenue, which enables sustainability in investing into the team, which should be able to give you more sporting success, which should be able to generate more attendance, right? So if you get on that flywheel effect. So I think that is great, the interest we have around the team. We just need to, as a club, and like we're doing really well at the moment, to capitalize on that, and to making sure that's one of the things that makes Arsenal stand out compared to our competitors at the moment. And we should really try our very, very best to generate momentum for that, and to have that as a foundation to drive sporting success in a way that our competitors at the moment shouldn't be able to do, but we can do.
Obviously, like from a financial point of view, it gives you an advantage and things like you say. But do you see it in the players? Have you seen a difference in when you're coming in to Arsenal and the crowds are significantly smaller than they are now? Do you see the impact on the playing group of those crowds and how much they respond to it and feed off it?
So for me, I think that's linked in the mentality and the support we get from the fans, that we are able to turn around games late. They play a massive part in that, because the atmosphere the fans gives us and the support, they never ever stop believing. They never ever stop singing for it. If they would have had the mentality and turning their back against the team in the 80th minute because you don't have the result you like at the moment, of course, I think that's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy as well. So I really see that bond is getting stronger. It helps us on the pitch, definitely, but it helps us because the fans are amazing, and they're true supporters. They're with the team the whole way. They're supporting the team the whole way. And I think you could even see after the game against Liverpool, which we were so disappointed with our performance, like what's the fans' reaction? they're traveling up in huge numbers to Manchester, and are there supporting us on a Friday night. And I mean, we spoke about that after the game. It almost feels like it's our home game at times over there, with the way that the fans is sounding, and it's incredible. And they're a huge part of us being able to win 7 games in a row.
And then last one on Alessia Russo. Obviously, we're a few months into her time at Arsenal now. I was wondering if you wanted to give us a feel for how you feel she's settled into the side. You know, there's sometimes people look at the number of goals and the stats, which I personally don't necessarily agree with in this case, and say maybe she's not scoring as much as she should be. Wondered if you wanted to give a little bit of a feel for what you see she's brought, her qualities, how she's settled in, and her all-round game.
Yeah, I think it's always a big step when you move to another club, and like you're saying, it's far more things to consider than only to be on the pitch. You need to settle all the things in your life, how you live and the area, and getting comfortable with all those things. Alessia works so hard. She's such a great individual and team player to have in the team. Do we have room for improvement for her in how we can involve her more, especially in the in the offensive penalty area, and get more touches in there, get more shooting opportunities? Absolutely. Especially when she's playing the number 9 position. I think that has to be the aim, that she's getting more involvement there, because that's going to lead to more goals. From a finishing perspective, and I said that before, she's probably the best finisher that I ever worked with. I really, really think she can finish in a lot of different varieties. She has great pace in her finishing, so for her it's more a number of how many times she can come to the finishes, rather than to the quality of what she will be doing with those opportunities. But there are things we're working with. But from her application and the effort she's putting into to Arsenal and to improve, amazing. And that's why I'm so sure she will have a great future with us. Thank you.
Rebecca.
So a lot of the younger players that are out on loan at the minute are having huge success. There's been a lot of England calls up in the last day or so. I'm just curious, how much of a relationship do you maintain with the players that are out on loan at the minute? Because a lot of them have only made 1 or 2 appearances for the first team, but kind of have started making that impact already. Just curious what your stance is with them at the minute.
Yeah, so you're right, and that has been a real shift from last season to this season, that we have a lot of young, really talented players out on loan to get the experience to play first team football. With each one of them that's on loan, we follow them up on a weekly basis, watching their games and so on. With the majority of them, we also have them continuously into training with the first team when it fits their schedule. So they're coming in, but at different times to do that. But that means that we will both have the football and the personal contact with them. And I think that is really important, that when we are sending them out on loan, that we're really good at maintaining the contact, that we're helping them with the progress and the development. And in some instances, with a Michelle Aggerman, for example, that had a minor knee injury at Watford, we could take her back to our environment. We could help her rehabilitate that fully to get back into full training, and after that we can let the loan resume again. But we definitely want to take that full responsibility of the loan process.